about safety as a value. And Mr. said, yes, it's a moral value. It is about defining safety as who we are. It is about the DNA and the culture of the organization and each individual who works for it and comes to work every day. That is what we have to accomplish. The rest of this can be done, can be accomplished, but only if we can make that switch, because it needs to be felt every day by everyone at TriMet when they come in the door, that I am here because I have to be safe. I have to be safe. That safety is as much a part of my being as honesty, as being a happy person or a good person, and providing customer service. It has to be that fundamental. And then the transformation that I think we're all looking for will take place. There's no question in my mind. I will, again, take this report as well as the nearly 100 recommendations that came out of the K&J report, many of which, by the way, have been implemented. And we will be working it through with our leadership team, making specific assignments, a work plan, if you will, to chase down all of the pieces of this work, including hiring executive for safety, which is one of the sort of fundamental building blocks here. And we need to make sure that we have the right person, a person who can lead this transformational change that we're talking about. It will be hard to find, but we will do it, and we will bring that person on board, and there will be a champion. We will be presenting this report to the TriMet board at their meeting next week. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the board's questions on that. I know, because I've talked to each of them individually, how committed the board is to making sure that this sort of organizational change takes place. Finally, I'd like to note that there is, I have to recognize there's a questioning and perhaps a cynicism about these things from many in this room, and I can't blame you for that. Mrs. Sturdy, Mr. Sale, I can't imagine the loss that you felt and you feel, and I understand the importance of this transformation to you and how important it is. And my commitment is I am there to make sure that it happens. That is my number one job here at TriMet. It is my value that this will be a safe operation. I also want everyone else to know that again, this is a major milestone. We are into implementation. We are into changing this culture. We are into driving a safe value for everybody that works at TriMet. And we're underway with that. One of the things I did want to just ask, you've heard task force members a number of comments about the issue of independent review. I know also your report very kindly offers the chance to bring you back together, which I will, as we move along and begin to develop the implementation program, I can give you a good progress report. I would love to do that. But I was just wondering your reaction to that notion, and if there's any other thoughts or recommendations related to that comment, which I think was one of the themes of the citizen testimony that we heard throughout this meeting.
So I really echo David's comments about, it's great to have the ideas, but the ideas mean nothing until you execute on them. And so, as someone who contributes to the ideas, it's sort of like, they are worthless until they're executed. So I think it is important to carry it through, or we will feel like what we've done here, does go to nothing. So from my personal view, I think it's important to have whatever sponsor group or whatever you want to term it to say, how are we meeting against these objectives? Let's make sure we do execute on them. With the understanding that obviously culture change doesn't happen over 2 months, doesn't happen over 6 months, doesn't happen over a year. It takes a long time to change the culture of the organization, any organization, but one the size of TriMet. So with the understanding that a lot of these things are going to happen overnight, but there's some very tactical things that I think we outlined here that I think could happen in pretty short order with the commitment and focus that you discussed. So.
That's helpful.
Other responses? Come on, Raj, it's here.
I like David's flavor when he talks about let's stop reviewing and assessing and auditing and start creating some change here and so forth and so forth. And that's the spirit with which we approach this. I'm convinced, I guess where it would make great sense to start what we're talking about here in Renaissance is to set that big, hairy, audacious goal at the top that becomes the sort of the call to action for everybody on a continuous basis. And it's something like making this thing a paragon of virtue for safety and stakeholder satisfaction, not to include not just people in the bus, but the people around it and trains as well. I guess, if you said to me you got 20 cents, what do you want to do first? I'd spend 19 cents on trying to create that bright light on the horizon that we're chasing to start with, and then build the rest of it in sequence. And I think you know what you've got. It's been looked at, studied, and reviewed. As Darrell said, there's a lot of data available that supports that from a systems point of view. So.
Rob, you have a comment? Well, I just maybe make a counterpoint. I might find a couple low-hanging things that I could fix right away that would really be fixed. And then I fix them and then say, this demonstrates the first step and additional steps that we're going to take, and shows action towards this value that we want to hold as paramount in the organization. Because I think that to say that safety is a very high value, but if that yellow card system doesn't really work, the operator puts his concern in and it becomes cynical that it's not being responded to, then you don't have credibility. So I think you have to have some action. I think you have to have some clear action and results in order to gain some momentum and maintain it.
And then I think also that it's important not just to keep it internally, but also to let the community know, so that they really know that you are working on it and that it's a high priority.
I would add to that sentiment, with this not simple, but what I hope would be elegant view. The general manager at TriMet serves at the pleasure of the board of directors. The board of directors at TriMet serves at the pleasure of the governor. The governor of the state of Oregon, in essence, serves at the pleasure of the community. If in your comments to the board next week and passing on the set of recommendations, you are unmistakably clear about the importance to you of it, and to use Roger's term, the bright light, and you literally challenge the board to hold you accountable. Very bluntly, you will either be held accountable or you'll be replaced. And if the board fails to do that, then what the community needs to do is to say to the governor, the issue has been raised. The board of directors has been deficient in its responsibility, and they need to be replaced. And I'd recall for everyone, at one point in the history of this agency, about 27 years ago, the board was replaced. Governor Attia simply found them not responsive to the challenges that were before them. Thanked them for their services. They were good people. They were just not collectively a good board of directors. And were replaced by what, in all fairness, was a clearly superior board of directors. So, in response to your specific question, is an independent review panel a helpful tool or a wise step? In my view, no. By the time you need an independent review panel, I think you need a different general manager and probably a different board of directors. If I could be a little clearer on my views on that, I'd be glad to.
Neil, can I ask one question? Can we figure out how you're going to educate our kids and the public? Because that really wasn't in what the scope of this about education. And you need to, not only are we trying to help TriMet and the culture, you need to help the people know and understand how light rail works and that. and that's something we need to start with our kids.
And I agree. Just on that point, for example, I know we've had internal discussions around here. I think actually TriMet has done a terrific job when a line is brand new and there's a sort of campaign that goes on to do that education, but we've not been good at is continuing that over time. So I completely agree with that. I know the hour is getting late. My commitment to this is strong, but I also want to just take one more opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your contributions and your effort on this, and Tom, you in particular, for this report. It's serious work, it's very good work, and it will result in a change in TriMet. And I will be held accountable for that. Thank you.
Everyone, thank you. Members of the task force, thank you ever so much.